and focus on the bigger things and focus on the excitement of the bigger things that are going to come into your life as a result of eliminating this thing rather than...
This is the How to Quit Working Show. Jeff Steinman believes entrepreneurship is the only true path to freedom. That's why he created the How to Quit Working Show, where you'll hear stories, insights, and inspiration from lifestyle fanatics who left their soul-sucking 9-to-5 job forever. Now, here's your host, author, entrepreneur, and ultimate lifestyle fanatic, Jeff Steinman.
Hello and welcome to the How to Quit Working Show. Today we're going to talk about how to make big changes in your life. And I love this topic because it is just so awesome to know that you can make really huge changes in your life and that whatever is going on in your life right now that is not working for you, you can change it. And we're going to talk about how on this episode of the How to Quit Working Show. Now, before we start talking about that, I want to remind you about the How to Quit Working Circle. And the How to Quit Working Circle is where you go if you're looking for a community of people just like yourself who are looking to make big changes in their lives and they're working on making big changes in their lives and they just want to support and encourage you. And you also get a free video training series on quitting your job and starting a business if you go over to howtoquitworking.com/circle and enter your information. You'll get access to the private Facebook community as well as the free video training. And then whenever there's anything cool or interesting like a sale or a promotion or just something that I want to share with you, you will get that information, but only if you go over to howtoquitworking.com/circle and enter your information. Now let's talk about the topic for today, which is how to make big changes in your life. And making big changes in your life is a big, complicated topic. There's a lot to it. It's not simple. But I wanted to give you what I thought would be the one simplest thing that you could do that would make the biggest difference. And I want to start by talking about a concept in physics that I heard about some time ago, and I thought it was really interesting because it's so applicable not only to physics, but it's also applicable to life in general, and it makes perfect sense when you think about it. And the concept is one that is credited to Aristotle, so it's very, very old. The basic idea of this idea of physics is that whenever there is a vacuum, in other words, whenever there is an area that doesn't have anything in it, that the surrounding, there's so much pressure in the surrounding things that it forces its way into that. Now that was a terrible physics explanation. If you're a physics or a science person, you're probably cringing right now at how horribly I explained that. But the bottom line is that whenever there is an absence of something in the universe, other things rush in to fill that void. And that is so extremely applicable to your life. If you're in that situation where maybe you pay off a car and then you think, oh my gosh, I've got like a couple $100 extra this month. And then the next month you're like, where did that money go? Like other things just sort of rushed in to replace to replace what you were spending the money on the car on, and you just sort of, without even realizing it, spent that money on other things. I think that's a great example of how this concept works in real life. But when you're looking to make big changes in your life, there's also a way to let other things rush in, and that is to eliminate something from your life. Eliminate something from your life that you spend a considerable amount of time with. And the more time that you spend on this thing that you're eliminating, the more space you're freeing up for more things to come rushing into that space. And for you, that might be watching television. It might be playing video games. It might be spending time with certain people who aren't, we talked about friends and family recently on the show. Maybe people who aren't giving you the influence that you need in your life. There's many, many things that you can choose to eliminate from your life, and what will happen is, obviously, something will fill that void in. It's not, unless you're just decide you're going to eliminate an hour a day of something and you just decide you're going to sleep for another hour, well, obviously something else is going to come in to fill up that space. So step number one in this process is decide on something that you can eliminate from your life. What is there that you can just completely eliminate and not do it anymore, and use that time for something else to come in and fill that space and fill that time, which our lives are based upon the time that we spend. We spend time doing all kinds of things, and the things that we spend our time doing are the things that add up to create what our life really is. Again, I always say that the only thing that we really have that's worth anything in this world is time. You can get more money, you can get more friends, you can get more things, you can get more knowledge, you can get more information, you can do whatever you want, but you can't ever get more time. So that's why time is so incredibly important in terms of thinking about how you spend it. So think of something that you can eliminate from your life. And as you're evaluating what that thing should be, think about how much the things that you're spending time on are contributing back to your life. So if you're spending time watching TV, how much time is that, or how much value is that bringing to your life? How much satisfaction is that bringing to your life? How much is that making your life better? And most importantly, how much is that moving you towards your ultimate goal? The really low-hanging fruit and the obvious answers here are the things that you're spending the most amount of time on that are doing the least amount of moving you towards your goal, that are serving you in the least amount possible. So identify that thing that is taking up the most amount of time and getting you the smallest amount of results. So that's number one, is figure out what that thing is. Number two, eliminate it. Eliminate that thing from your life completely. Now, I know it's hard to do this because that thing is probably something that is bringing you some short-term pleasure of some sort. And I'll just continue with the TV example, right? So you might be thinking, man, I just don't want to give up TV because I really enjoy it, and it's something that I know is always going to be there, and it's always going to be something that I can have and that I can use to sit down in front of for a while and feel good for an hour or 2 hours or maybe even 4 or 5 if you're a typical American. But what you have to remember is that if you want to make big changes in your life, you have to make these big, difficult decisions. And one of the things that it's kind of fun to do is actually get less concerned about the elimination of the short-term positive thing that you're getting out of whatever you're eliminating, and focus on the bigger things and focus on the excitement of the bigger things that are going to come into your life as a result of eliminating this thing, rather than focusing on the loss of that short-term pleasure. I hope that makes sense. I know it took me a long time to get around to that point, but don't focus, so let me just try to say it a little bit differently and maybe more clearly. Don't focus on the loss of that thing that you're giving up. Focus on the excitement of what that thing is that is going to rush into that space. And you may not exactly know what that thing is yet, but you will. And we're going to talk about that in a second, about how to make sure the right things come in. But get excited. Get really excited about the possibilities and what could potentially happen if you free up that time and allow other good things to rush in. So number one, decide what that thing is that you're going to eliminate. Number two, eliminate it. Just stop doing it. Quit doing it. Quit spending time on it. Quit focusing on it. Let that be a part of your past, something that you did at one point and that you no longer are going to be spending time and effort on. And then finally, step number 3 is to allow that other stuff to come in. Now, there is one really dangerous thing that can happen, is that if you have eliminated something that is not productive and is not moving you towards where you want to be in your life, the danger is that something else unproductive could come into that. You could, as the example I gave earlier, you could just sleep more. You could pick up another habit. You could start drinking more. You could start surfing the internet instead of watching television. And that's where you got to be really careful. You've got to be really careful about making sure that whatever fills that time is something that indeed is going to move you towards where you want to go and make your life better, because that's what we're talking about here, is making big changes in your life. And obviously we want to make big changes that are for the better, not for the worse. So be really cognizant of what is coming into that time frame. And I think one of the things that you can do that would be really helpful in this situation is be kind of consciously aware of what you want to fill that time. Maybe you want to use that time to spend working on your business. And well, then maybe you should just put together a plan, put together a list of, okay, every night I used to watch 3 hours of TV. Instead, I'm going to spend 3 hours working on my business. I'm going to spend 3 hours doing this research and an hour doing this, an hour doing that, and figuring out what it is that you actually want to go into that time slot. And you don't have to let the universe or whatever just send in whatever it wants. You can be very intentional about what you let fill into that vacuum or that void that has been created by the thing that you have eliminated. This is so important, and I can't stress enough. I know it's hard to make changes in your life. It is really, really hard to make changes in your life. But when I began doing it, it was a couple of years before I left my full-time corporate job, and I began really making some very radical changes in my life and spending my time in very different ways. And what was so interesting was I saw how my view of the world was changing, and how the things that were important to me changed drastically. And it was such an amazing life transformational time for me that I really want you to be able to experience what that's like. And that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do a video around this topic. But I want to encourage you to really think about and be excited about the new things that are going to come into your life, and not be feeling that feeling of dread or that feeling of loss over the thing that you're eliminating. Don't focus on that. Focus on all the great stuff that's going to come in and the great stuff that's going to happen when you make this big change in your life. So again, just to summarize, number 1, decide what you can eliminate from your life. Number 2, eliminate it. Number 3, let that other stuff come in, and be really intentional about what you let come in and about how you spend that time that you have just freed up. And it's not just time, it's also energy. Everything that we do in our life takes up energy. And when you can free up that energy, that is energy that you can put towards something else that will do more to move you in the direction of where you want to go in life. And that is what we are all about here at How to Quit Working, is helping you to move in the direction that you want to go in life. And I love hearing from you. I love hearing the great stories of folks who have had great transformations in their life and began to look at the world from a whole different perspective and put these things into action. I hear from folks who listen to the show and watch the videos all the time, as well as hearing from folks who are our clients and folks in the How to Quit Working Kickstart program who are just seeing amazing transformations in their life. And if you want to be one of those folks that has the amazing transformations and gets brand new perspectives on how to look at things, and has a simple process to really look at the world and say, where can I add value, and where can I add value in a way that people will actually pay me money for the things that I do, then the Kickstart program is for you. Head on over to howtoquitworking.com/kickstart and check out the Kickstart program. It is under $100, and it is an amazing program that gives you a simple process to identify a business idea that people actually want to pay you for, and then go out and find those people. Because when you got the people and you got the idea, all you gotta do is put them together, and that's the easy part. So head on over to howtoquitworking.com/kickstart. Join Kickstart. I look forward to seeing you in there, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the How to Quit Working Show.
Thanks for joining us on the How to Quit Working Show. Tune in next time when we'll talk to another amazing person just like you, who is now living the ultimate life of freedom and doing it on their terms. If you want to learn how to quit working and get these episodes delivered directly to you, visit howtoquitworkingshow.com.